She's in the Western Cape. Let's find out what the situation is, where she is on the ground, with just over half an hour left before the polls close in the South African elections. Mariska, a very good evening to you.
Good evening to you, Peter. Yes, so we're in the final stages now. I'm looking at the clock as well. This side it says just over half an hour left. We're in the Hermanus Municipal Building, where I think things are wrapping up here. This is one of the polling stations where there was a steady trickle throughout the day of IEC officials telling us that it was busy throughout the day, but in bursts and slow trickle coming in, people voting steadily. And that is the kind of sense that we got across the region where we are deployed in the Overberg. We started this morning in Zwelihle, just outside Hermanus here, where 2 of the 5 voting stations started half an hour late because the scanner didn't work. But after the scanner issue was sorted out, they got going with the voting, also slow and steady trickle. But we do understand that many people are still, were at work still, and this last half an hour could see a rush to polling stations in certain areas. We have colleagues out in Zwelihle busy checking that out for us. And of course, then we also travelled a bit further afield in the Overberg. We made our way to Grabouw, where we were in the town centre, where we also saw the same thing, a little bit of a queue, and then there's movement, a little bit of a queue and movement. And then also we visited a small rural voting station that has about 800 registered voters and caters for 5 farms in that local area. And also there everything was running smoothly. I had a chat about an hour or so ago with ISA officials at a provincial level, telling us that in the Overberg region things have been going well. There were glitches here and there. There were reports of things not going so well, but overall they said, the last time I spoke to them, that they are satisfied with the progress that has been going in the Overberg region. Like I said to you earlier, we are now back in Hermanus where we started, and this voting station I think is busy getting ready to wrap up and close shop for the day. And then, of course, the all-important counting starts. So 9 o'clock the doors close. If there's no more people queuing to vote, of course, they will allow people to vote who are in a queue at 9 o'clock. But if there's nobody, the doors will close and the counting process will start. And spare a thought for IEC officials that will be staying until the counting process is complete. But in our region, in the Overberg, everywhere we visited, everybody we spoke to, overall, there was a sense of satisfaction about how the day was going. As far as voter turnout numbers are, well, like you said, it's a guessing game. At this point, we simply don't know how many people have come out to vote. But like I said, everywhere we saw a steady trickle of people. We also had an opportunity to chat to people as to why they went to vote, what were the factors forcing them or making them decide which way they go. And what we heard from several people is that this time around, which was different to previous times, maybe as Dr. Boyson was explaining there, it was difficult for people to make a decision off the top of their heads. One lady telling us she this time around had to look carefully at what the different party manifestos said and not go the same direction she always usually used to go. I don't know if that is the sense anywhere else, but that's certainly what we heard on the ground here. And then we also found some young people that were voting, telling us they want their voices to be heard, but certainly at these polling stations that we visited, the greater number of people that we saw were above the 35 years of age curve. We don't want to call people elderly, but it's definitely people over 35 that was voting, and working people. But of course it differs from area to area. And as the things that motivate people to work, we've heard a few things. Unemployment, access to land, and then safety and security, because for different people there are different factors that are important for them that makes them decide who they will vote for. But in the Overberg region, the overall sense that we're getting is that things went well.
Mariska, thanks very, very much indeed for that comprehensive update on what's been happening on the day in the areas that you visited. It gives us a sense of how South Africans have been voting, particularly in your part of the world.